In making my music video, I've used several softwares and hardwares. One of the first softwares that I've used is Sony Vegas Pro. You first start off with a plain user interface, and then you often import files by pressing Control and O to open up files, and you're open to your files, and you select the video file that you want to import. You're often presented with your video and your sound, and with that you're able to edit both the video and the sound separately. In my music video, I've taken out the production sound since it's a music video. I've used Sony Vegas for simple tasks such as splitting videos and sounds, allowing me to have individual sets of videos and enabling me to put them together in a creative manner. In Sony Vegas, it also allows me to add effects such as black and white, which allowed me to get the original gloomy, dark look to my music video. And once you've finished editing with your video file, you go and render it. I've also used Adobe Visual Effects, which is quite similar to Sony Vegas Pro. After Effects is a digital visual effects, motion graphics, and composition application developed by Adobe. The difference between Sony Vegas and After Effects is that Sony Vegas is more suited for keying, tracking, rotoscoping, compositing, and animation. Unlike Sony Vegas, which is used for simply just editing, video tracks and soundtracks and so on. In After Effects, I've simply used it to stabilize my footage. I've done this by simply importing my video file, by going on File and Importing, or simply pressing Control and I, and I would go to the Tools option and go into the search box and type in Stabilizer and apply the stabilizer onto the file, onto the display, and the result would give me a stabilized footage. And then I would just render the file and use that video file onto my Sony Vegas and put it all together. I've also used Photoshop, which is a graphic editor software. Photoshop can essentially edit and compose images in multiple layers and support masks, alpha compositing, and several color models. When starting off with Photoshop, you often you import the file, which is done by Control O, or just go to File and Open Images. I've used 2 images, and with Photoshop I was able to layer them on top of each other. I've lowered the opacity so that I could precisely get it in line with each other. A claw effect to get my to get the ripped kind of rip effect, so that you could see the image underneath it. In order to get the image underneath it, I used the magic wand and applied it onto the image above, and by using black colors in Photoshop, you're able to see or retrieve images that are below it. And I also used the cropping tool, which allowed me to precisely get the shape of the image that I wanted. To finish it off, I rendered the image as a JPEG. Other softwares I've used are Microsoft PowerPoint, which is a slideshow presentation program created by Microsoft. I've used PowerPoint to help me express my ideas and my progress into creating my music video. When using PowerPoint, you often start off with this layout, and PowerPoint, you're able to customize your look, add different themes to it. Obviously, you have a title, and then and then you're also able to add more slides, which give you more space and info to add, so that you don't have all the information just clumped up on one page. And in making my PowerPoint, I've used images. And also I've also added texts, obviously, to show what the image is and to explain the image. And once you've done everything, you simply on the icon as seen in the video, and it allows you to see what your presentation looks like. And this here is an example that I've used for my work. As you can see, I've simply just used it to clip on images, and then on the next slide I often have just text explaining the images, and so on. Similarly, I've also used Prezi, which is also another presentation software. The difference is that the product employs a zooming user interface, which allows users to zoom in and out of their presentation media, and also allows the user to display and navigate through information within a 2.5D or a parallax 3D space on the Z-axis. When starting off Prezi, you often have a few empty slides, and the user is able to simply add text to them and import images. But with Prezi, you have this sense of more freedom to it, since you're able to fit a lot more on just one single slide. As seen in the video, you can add extra slides to kind of put them in order of where you want the slide to be, and it's often numbered as seen. And then you just simply drag the slide on the left side into the position that you want the slide to be in. and then you're able to go. You're often able to see it in a presentation like format, in which it zooms into the image, into the slide, and then move on to the next slide in an animation effect. And then an example of how I've used Prezi, when I looked into the Lumineers and analyzed one of their music videos called Oh Hey. And the scene I've used it in the same way as PowerPoint, and I've just simply added text and images and just talked about them. I've used Safari and Google Chrome as web browsers. I've used Safari on the Macs and Google Chrome on my personal computer. With these web browsers, I was able to access Google, which enabled me to essentially browse the internet, and I was able to learn about the indie genre and different indie artists, and look at their conventions and the way that they portray themselves in the media. Also allowed me to obviously obtain images of them and such, and save them, and allow me to apply that to my work. I was also able to have access to WordPress, which is a free and open source content management system. In other words, a blogging system used on the web. With this, I was able to document my process of making my music video and digipack and advert. It allowed me to post images of my work and embed YouTube videos, and it's also presented in a neat and presentable format. I've also had the access to YouTube, which allowed me to search and explore the indie genre in a much more greater detail, and I was able to look at the music conventions and help me analyze them, like help me analyze music videos frame by frame and apply it to my work. I was also able to use YouTube videos for my own personal reasons, personal uses, by allowing me to upload my videos and publish it onto WordPress. For my camera, I've used a Panasonic G6, which enabled me to film my music video and also take images of what soon became my digipack and advert. Panasonic Lumix G6 is a micro four third compact system camera featuring a 16 megapixel image sensor, a high resolution 3-inch free angle LCD screen. It offers a touchscreen user interface, a fast 0.18 second autofocus, 7 frames per second burst shoot, an ISO range of 160 to 25,600, a full HD 1080p videos, mechanical and silent electronic shutter, and an extensive range of photo styles and creative control filters. To go with my camera, I used the Lumix G 20mm 1.7, which is a pancake prime lens in the micro four thirds system. The 1.7 f-stop allows for great low light performance and gives a more depth of field, which gives it the very nice cinematic look. I've used two computers. For my personal computer, I've used a Lenovo Z50 multimedia laptop, which has an Intel Core i7, an 8GB RAM, and a 1TB storage space. It uses an NVIDIA GeForce 840 graphics card, and the screen is 15.6 inches with 1920 by 1080 pixels and a DVD writer optical drive. I've also used the Apple iMac, which is a 21.5 inch computer with a 1920 by 1080p pixel resolution display. The processor is a dual-core Intel Core i5 processor. For memory, it's got 8 GB. For storage, it has 500 GB, and graphics, it has an Intel HD Graphics 5000. During my production, when shooting in low light settings, I used a reflector, more precisely a 110 centimeter 5-in-1 photographic light reflector. It essentially adds vibrant colors to a subject. You can configure it so it's either silver, gold, black, white, translucent, and it comes with a pouch for storage. The silver increases the highlights and yields a highlight contrast image. It's perfect for videos and product shots and such. And gold, it produces a natural gold feel that is great for sunsets and indoor portraits. White produces an even neutral color balance. The translucent fabric is used to diffuse light, producing a more soft and wrap-round effect that's perfect for outdoor portraits or whenever a soft light is needed. And black light, and the black essentially just stops the sun or window light and prevents unwanted shadow. And the last equipment that I used was my tripod, which is an aluminium tripod with a 62-inch maximum operating height. It's a ball head, quick release plate, and built-in bubble level. It's got twist release knobs to extend and lock legs quickly. The tripod essentially enabled me to get the shots, the stable shots, the fixed still shots that I have in my music video.